Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom. If you enjoy the video today or if you enjoy any sort of Disney content, please like and subscribe and all that sort of kind of stuff. So let's get on with the video. So ignore the voice. I'm a little bit unwell at the minute, but I'm still continuing to make the video anyways. So first off, a couple of days ago I put some Q&A questions on my Instagram, and I'm gonna make it like a little segment at like the start of the videos to like see like any sort of questions and answers sort of thing that you might want to ask us. So first off, we've got a question from Big Thunder Fitness. If you do want to check them out, I'll put the links to their Instagram in the description. And their question was, what is my favourite Disney snack and what is my least favourite ride? So personally, in terms of snacks, it kind of depends on the park. So personally, with Disneyland Paris, my favourite snack, it's the one I always go to, is the Croque McQueen next to the Cars Land in the Disney Studios park, or what it's soon to be called, Disney Adventure World. It is a really cool, it's quite basic, but it just tastes really nice. So basically what it is, it's just a ham and cheese toastie. However, they print Lightning McQueen on the top of it, so it kind of makes it a little bit cooler. In terms of Disney World, however, I would absolutely choose the beignets from the French Quarter Hotel in Florida. It is the nicest beignet you'll ever have, and if you're ever in Disney World, especially near that hotel, I would highly recommend getting one. To follow up the other question, my least favourite ride, it's quite a tough one, but personally, I'm far too scared to go on it, is Tower of Terror, because I refuse to go on that ride, and I don't think I'll ever have the courage to go on it. But in terms of rides I have been on, personally, Snow White's Adventure in Disneyland Paris, mainly because it's very outdated, it's very creepy, and it's not kind of a ride I would go to. It's not something I would kind of go out of my way to go on, basically. And the next question we've got from Dean, who is one of the hosts of Disney Hot Topic on YouTube and Instagram. Go check them out. Again, the links are going to be in the description below. And his question was, if I could choose any Disney IP to be put in the parks, what would it be? Now, I think I've mentioned this quite a few times, how I would want on different platforms, how I would want to see a Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland Paris, especially in Discoveryland, mainly because Discoveryland is it's in need of like something new, basically, and I feel like a Galaxy's Edge would fit right behind where Star Tours is, basically. In terms of properties that haven't been announced or haven't got, like, it isn't in any of the parks around the world, personally, I would love to see a ride around WALL-E, just because it's one of my favourite films made by Disney and Pixar, and I feel like a ride, maybe even like, I know Space Mountain is a very classic ride and it's not one that's probably ever going to change. However, I would love to see like a Space Mountain with a WALL-E coating over it, like a theme around WALL-E, because I do feel like that would be such a cool ride to go on. So thank you for Big Thunder Fitness and Dean for sending me those questions in. If you do want to be featured and involved in the next video, any sort of questions that you have for me or anything like that, make sure to drop a message either on any story that I post or even a DM on Instagram. Again, the link's going to be in the description below, so if you do have any questions for the next video, feel free to message us there. So the main part of this video is I want to showcase why I love Disney in the first place. There's a lot of reasons why I love Disney. There's a lot of moments in my life that's made me love Disney so much. So, like many stories, we'll start from the beginning. Now, I know Star Wars wasn't always originally a Disney property. However, it is now. So I feel like it's really good to share my first ever experience with like Disney kind of things. Ironically, it all started on the day I was born. So, for a little bit of context, my brother is a massive Star Wars fan. He loves Star Wars. He's the reason why I got into Star Wars in the first place. And on the day I was born, my parents thought it was a good time to get a little present for my brother. So, around about the time I was born, and this is kind of showing my age, in the sense of how either young or old I am, depending on who's watching. I was born the same year as Star Wars Attack of the Clones came out. With that, obviously the characters that were around Star Wars at the time was Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, etc. And my brother's favourite character was Anakin. So obviously, given that, he wanted Anakin's lightsaber. So with that, my parents decided, why don't we get him a lightsaber? With my parents not being exactly the most Star Wars fan people, ironically, got him the wrong lightsaber and got him Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, which, with him being quite young at the time, he didn't appreciate. Not very much. But ironically, as I got older and as I got into Star Wars and started to love Star Wars, my favourite Jedi, anyways, is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ironic.
So it was kind of that sort of weird connection, in the sense of like my favourite Star Wars character pretty much growing up was attached to the lightsaber that my brother got on the same day I was born. So with that, as I grew up, I started to watch more movies and TV shows. I was a massive fan of Disney Channel, Phineas and Ferb, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, etc. and Toy Story. Toy Story is, at least to my memory, the first Disney film I ever watched, and I was blown away at the film itself. It was, as I was growing up, it was my favourite film, and then that got taken over by Toy Story 2, which was then my favourite film when I was little. So Toy Story's always had that sort of deep connection with me, in the sense of it was like one of the first films I ever recognised as a child. Same with, alongside Cars and Chicken Little and all them kind of films that were around like between like the late 90s to early 2000s, where those films are the ones that I kind of distinctly remember more. And then me and my brother, my mum and my dad all went to Florida for the first time. So obviously, being a kid, I got to go to Disney World, I got to go to Universal. We went to Universal more than we did Disney, mainly just because at the time Universal had like Shrek, or had like a Shrek ride. They had a Jimmy Neutron ride, which I was quite a big fan of at the time. They had like sort of like they still do have like the Dr. Seuss land. I was quite a big fan of the Dr. Seuss books when I was little. So stuff like Cat in the Hat, Grinch, etc. Stuff like that I was a massive fan of. And obviously they've got the little Marvel section where they've got like the Hulk, roller coaster and Spider-Man, etc. So we kind of went there more because at the time Marvel wasn't a Disney property, so obviously Universal were allowed to do whatever they wanted with sort of that Marvel stuff. However, I did go to Disney World when I was in Florida. I went to Studios, I went to Animal Kingdom, and I went to Magic Kingdom. At the time, Epcot obviously was there, but we never went to it. We never had got round to going to Epcot. So ironically, later in the video I'll explain that I've obviously been more recently now, but I never got to experience Epcot when I was younger. And I also don't have a lot of memories of Disney World as a kid. The things I do remember though are seeing the castle, going on Star Tours, which is still one of my favourite rides in any Disney park. And then I also remember the Indiana Jones like little show that they have in Hollywood Studios. Same with the safari in Animal Kingdom. That's one of the things I remember the most. And in terms of Animal Kingdom, that's all I remember is just the safari, because I was quite young and I can't remember much of it. So between the ages about 10 to about 18, I don't have a lot of memories of Disney, mainly because I was kind of one of them kids who loved Disney, got into like the teenage years, and it kind of fizzled out a bit. Obviously, I still loved Star Wars, I still loved Marvel. I didn't really watch much of, like, for example, like 101 Dalmatians, Aladdin, etc. Them sort of like classic Disney films that were like known now, and that I've watched multiple times now, and I come back to and everything. But obviously, as a teenager, you kind of think, oh well, why would I watch Disney? And then moving on to when I got back into Disney was around about, well, in 2021, so about 5 years ago, when I met my lovely fiancée Lauren. So when we met, we weren't very Disney, like we didn't present ourselves as very Disney people. However, as we got to know each other and then got together, we found that both of us were massive Disney fans. The year after we started seeing each other, she surprised me with a trip to Disneyland Paris. So a little bit of a backstory, I've never been to Disneyland Paris at this point. However, I've obviously been to Florida before, but Lauren had never been to Florida at the time and only went to Disneyland Paris before, when she was really young as well. So I managed to get that opportunity because of her to experience Disneyland Paris for the first time, and it's one of those things where that trip made me realise how much I love Disney, and I think it was the same for Lauren as well. With that, I had an absolute amazing time, and then obviously we've been back multiple times since. But from then on, we started going to the parks a lot, and obviously last year was the first time we went to Florida together, which was an absolute amazing experience. Obviously now, starting from last year, we started doing Disney content creating, which from that we've met so many amazing people. We've managed to go out of our comfort zones a lot, because mainly me and Lauren aren't exactly the most socially confident people. So to be able to do stuff like Instagram and TikTok, and now for myself YouTube, it's really stepping out of my comfort zone, and it's really allowing me to express my passion for content creating. Because I've always, even when I was younger, I've always wanted to do stuff like this. I've just never had the ability in myself and like the trust in myself to do these kinds of things. But now obviously we've had so many unbelievable experiences since falling back in love with Disney. There's just so many more memories we're so excited to experience. See, this year we have 3 trips booked to Disney. See, Lauren is currently, as of recording, in Disneyland Paris right now. But we're going in March to Disneyland Paris. We're going to Disneyland Paris again in November. And then we are also going back to Florida in June. The opportunities we're getting to do these parks is unbelievable, and I'm absolutely grateful that we are able to have these sort of memories and experiences of Disney, and all of them I can't wait to share with you guys, because this is what, like I say, this is what I've been wanting to do for the longest of times, and I am so excited to share all of 2026's Disney trips with you guys, and I hope you all enjoy and stick around for that. So that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please like and subscribe, and maybe even if you wish to, write a little comment of what you enjoyed the most about this video. Is there any sort of experiences that you want to share about how you got into Disney? Please let me know in the comments below. My social medias are in the description and in the outro, so you'll be able to find that there. Like I say again, thank you to Big Thunder Fitness and Dean from Disney Hot Topic, and again their Instagrams will be in the description below, and see you later.